What if the failure that broke you was never meant to end your story? What if the pieces left behind were actually clues, quietly showing you where to go next? We often imagine success as a straight road, rising cleanly toward the stars above. We picture a journey without detours, where every step moves us closer to the life we want. But real life rarely follows that perfect script, and sooner or later, the ground begins to crack. Failure can arrive without warning, turning certainty into silence in a single moment. In that darkness, you may feel that you have lost everything, including the person you were becoming. You watch others move forward while you remain trapped inside the weight of your own disappointment. The shame of failing can become louder than every word of encouragement you have ever received. And slowly, you begin to believe that one broken chapter has defined your entire life. We are taught that falling is the opposite of winning, proof that we were never good enough. But failure is not always a dead end. Sometimes it is an honest redirection. Every mistake carries information, revealing what your hopes alone could never show you. When you fail, life may not be stopping you. It may be leading you towards something more authentic. Sometimes we fail because we are forcing ourselves into a life that was never truly ours. Failure strips away illusion, leaving behind the truth we were too afraid to face. There was once a man who spent years building a future he believed would finally make him worthy. He worked longer, sacrificed more, and ignored the quiet voice telling him that something was wrong. Then one day, the opportunity he had built his life around disappeared without warning. He lost his position, his confidence, and the identity he had depended on for so long. For weeks, he could barely look at himself without hearing the words, "You failed." He avoided old friends because he imagined they could see the defeat written across his face. But one morning, he opened a notebook and wrote down everything the failure had revealed. He saw the habits he had ignored, the risks he had denied, and the needs he had buried. He realized that his greatest mistake was not losing the opportunity, but abandoning himself to keep it. That realization did not erase the pain, but it gave the pain a purpose. He began again slowly, not by chasing the same dream, but by building a life that actually fit him. Months later, he understood that what had collapsed was never his future. It was only his false direction. This is what failure can do when you are willing to listen instead of only judging yourself. It can expose weak foundations before you build the rest of your life upon them. It can force you to examine your strategy, your ego, and the habits that quietly hold you back. That examination may hurt, but pain is often the sculptor's chisel, shaping something stronger within you. Every time you rise, you are no longer the same person who fell. You return with greater wisdom, clearer vision, and a deeper understanding of what the journey requires. Greatness is not the absence of failure. It is the accumulation of everything failure taught you. Those who never fail often remain inside the safe boundaries of what they already know. But real growth begins when you step beyond certainty and risk becoming a beginner again. To reach something meaningful, you must accept that falling may be part of the price. It is better to live with, "At least I tried," than to be haunted forever by "what if." Time spent failing is not always wasted. Sometimes it is time spent learning how reality truly works. You are testing ideas, refining your methods, and discovering what effort alone cannot teach. The road to the summit is often built from the stones that once caused you to stumble. Your story of recovery can become a light for someone still lost inside their own valley. Failure gives you a perspective grounded in truth rather than the illusion of a flawless life. You begin to see that your scars are not evidence of weakness, but proof that you endured. This is the foundation of a person who has been tested and still refuses to quit. When success finally arrives, it will be stronger because it was built on honest ground. You will understand that many rejections were protecting you from doors that were never meant for you. The door to your potential rarely opens through luck. It opens through persistence, humility, and adjustment. The tallest trees grow deep roots because they have learned to survive the strongest winds. So do not be afraid of the messiness of trying, failing, learning, and trying again. Every version of you that failed was only a draft of the person you are becoming. Your inner light is not weakened by the shadows you have crossed. It is defined by surviving them. Sometimes the missing piece of success is the humility that only failure can teach. Success is not simply a place you reach. It is the person you become along the way. So if you are standing in the middle of failure today, do not call it the end. Call it the clearing of old ground before something more honest is built. Trust the process, even when nothing seems to be unfolding the way you planned. Growth often begins inside discomfort, uncertainty, and the courage to choose a different path. The beauty of your journey is not found in perfection, but in the meaning created through struggle. When you stop fearing failure, you also stop giving it the power to control you. You become steadier because you have faced the worst and discovered that you can still stand. This is one form of greatness, protecting your light without denying the darkness you have known. You are not powerless in this chapter. Every next step is still a choice you can make. Begin by asking one honest question. What is this failure trying to teach me? Then choose one small action that proves you're willing to learn from the answer. Rewrite the plan, change the habit, ask for help, or walk away from what no longer fits. You do not need to rebuild your entire life today. You only need to place the next stone. Small acts of courage become evidence that your story is still moving forward. The storm will pass, but the person who emerges from it will not be the same. You will carry greater patience, deeper strength, and a clearer sense of what truly matters. Listen to the quiet voice within you, especially when the noise around you says to give up. You may not be where you hope to be, but you are still somewhere growth can begin. Your failures are not the opposite of success. They are part of the structure that supports it. Learn from them, honor what they revealed, and let them guide you toward a wiser future. The world does not need a perfect version of you. It needs the honest light only you can offer. Believe in yourself, especially on the days when belief feels difficult and progress feels invisible. Everything you have survived has brought you to this moment, and this moment still contains possibility. Take a breath, step forward, and trust that you are stronger than this chapter has made you feel. You are still the architect of your future, and even failure can become a tool in your hands. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is often the solid foundation on which greatness is built. Thank you for walking with us through the failures, lessons, and new beginnings that shape every journey. If this message spoke to your heart, remember that one small step today can change tomorrow. Subscribe to Soul's Journey Light Path, and let us continue growing through every peak and valley together. Until next time, take care of yourself, trust your journey, and never stop believing in the light within you. Keep going, keep learning, and never give up on the person you are still becoming.